Factsverse presents. Beachgoers saw dark forms swimming in from the ocean, and the lifeguard told them to stay back. Help us spread the word about Factsverse by clicking that like button, and also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. The beaches in Fort Lauderdale are a very popular tourist spot. Hordes of teenagers and college students flock to the area during spring break to let off steam and have a good time. The beaches of Fort Lauderdale are also a prime spot for the locals. When people have a day off, they love to head to the beautiful beaches for a day of fun in the sun. Typically, a day at the beach is pretty uneventful. There are people swimming, surfing, and soaking up the sun, but there was one weekend in May of 2012 where things were not average or typical. One person on the beach that day was Craig Hosick. He was at the beach with a group of friends, and fortunately he had a camera on hand. He says if he didn't get this entire thing on tape, people never would have believed what had happened. The beach was very crowded that day. There were plenty of people swimming and hanging out in the shallow waters on the beach. In Craig's video, you can see something dark underneath the water. Many people in the area thought the darkness was simply seaweed that was moving its way toward the shore. While most people don't like being covered in seaweed, it's not dangerous. Some swimmers even thought the darkness in the water could be a rock formation. There were some, however, who knew better. The objects under the water were not rocks or seaweed. They were manatees. While these creatures are known to inhabit the Florida waters, the regulars at Fort Lauderdale Beach are not used to seeing these creatures so close to the shore. Most people have only seen these creatures at an aquarium. The manatee, also known as the sea cow, brought flocks of people to the shore. When Craig was recording the footage of the manatees, he was shocked that they were sticking their snouts out of the water and showing no fear. He says that was absolutely amazing. When he was interviewed by Local 10 News, he said, "This is awesome. You don't get to see this every day. For them to be so close, they really took me by surprise." That day, there were 5 manatees in the area. There were a mother and her 4 babies. The babies were bumping each other's noses, trying to get their mother's attention as they floated right by the beach. According to Craig's wife, Gina, the manatees were enjoying the audience that had gathered around to see them. As more and more people became curious, the audience grew. The lifeguards tried to keep people back for their own safety and the safety of the manatees, but everybody just had to see these creatures up close. Many of the people in the area were happy giving the manatees the space they needed. The people of Florida understand what it means to exercise manatee manners. The rules of the manatee manners are even posted on the Florida's tourism website. The rules say that touching the manatees is strictly forbidden. Also, you cannot harm, harass, or disturb these sea creatures. Fortunately, the people on the beach that day were following the rules, and the manatees remained safe while they were enjoying their time on the shore. One of the biggest rules that the spectators had to follow was to avoid blocking the manatee's path to the surface. These creatures need to go up to the water's surface every 5 minutes in order to breathe. If their path to the surface had been blocked, it could have been very dangerous. They actually could have drowned. Craig says he's thrilled that he and his wife were there that day to see this amazing sight. It's not every day that manatees come this close to the beaches of Florida. Craig says that seeing the manatee was a once-in-a-lifetime experience that he and his wife will never forget. When Gina spoke to Local News 10, she said, "That for me was like a gift because who gets to see that? It was like a miracle to see it, and it was beautiful." Subscribe for more.